Hello and welcome to my Backgammon channel. Thanks for joining me today. In today's short lesson, I want to introduce you to 5 tips to improve your backgammon game fast. Now, we all know it's a complex and tricky game, but hopefully these tips will move you in the right direction to improvement and lead to fewer mistakes over the board and more wins. So let's get started. Now, number 1, how do you choose to play 4-2 here as white? Now this is from a money game. Now here you are faced with 2 good options. You can make the 4 point or you can make the 20 point, which is your opponent's 5 point. So you have the conundrum of deciding on the best play. And how do you come to the right decision? Well, here, by far the best move is to make the 20 point. Making the 4 point is actually a blunder, which you can see on the bottom left hand panel. And this leads to the first tip, which is to do the most difficult thing first. When you are faced with a conundrum of 2 moves over the board, then you do the hardest one first. So here you can see that there are only 3 rolls for white to make the 20 point. 4-2, which is also 2-4, and double 2, whereas 5 rolls make the 4 point, as you can see on the right hand side. So more rolls make the 4 point, then make the 20 point. So that points us towards a 20 point. But there's more here to take into consideration. Now on subsequent rolls, we can bring checkers down off the midpoint, which will give us more numbers to make inner board points, to make the 4 and make the 5 or make the bar. Whereas unless we are hit, we are never going to have more checkers back in green's home board. So we're not likely to improve our rolls to make the 20 point, whereas we are likely to improve our rolls to make the 4 point. Now here also, when our opponent has made the 6 point and the 4 point, we really want to make his 5 point to prevent him from making what's known as the rack. Now the rack was a term coined by Bill Roberti, where your opponent or yourself has the formation of the 6, the 5 and the 4 point all made. Now it's a very powerful formation to have and does result in a lot of cubes. So here, by making the 20 point, we are effectively preventing our opponent from making that point until we choose to vacate it later. So that's another strong indicator of why the 20 point is better. So tip 1, do the most difficult thing first. Do not be swayed by the stacks on the 8 and the 6 point and unloading those for fear you won't do in the future. Count the number of rolls that are working for you to do one of 2 things and then do the hardest one first. Let's look at number 2. White has a 6-4 to play. Now how would you choose to play this? Now tip 2 is to play the easy number first. When you're faced with difficult decisions like this, then take away one of your numbers and then focus on the other one. So here for 4 is obvious. You have to hit here to send green back behind your prime. And once you've played the 4, then you only have the 6 to decide. So there are of course different options with the 6. You can play 12 to 6 or you could play 8 to 2. And the right move is 16 to 12, 8 to 2. Now why is that? So here we have the comparison of the correct play on the left and then the incorrect play on the right hand side. So by hitting and then playing 8 to 2, as you can see on the left, we have 2 ways to win. So green can enter with a 2 and hit us, which would improve our timing, and then green would crack the prime when they rolled awkward 4s and 3s. Or green danced, didn't enter, and then we covered the blot on our 2 point, and green would crack their prime with 5s, 4s and 3s once entering. So here you can see with the correct play there are 2 ways to win, Whereas the inferior play on the right hand side, we have poorer timing as white, we have less flexibility, we have less control of the outfield for any return shots, and now it is us as white who are more likely to crack our prime first. So play the 4 and then decide how to play the 6. Always play the easy number first and then play the hard number second. Number 3, white to play 4-2. How do you decide what to do here? Again, you have two good options. You can make the 4 point, or you can hit the blot on the bar point. Again, how do you make the right decision? Now here it is correct to hit. The decision is marginal, but it's better to hit. And tip 3 is to always consider the second best move. Now here we can see the difference between the correct play on the left, hitting and putting green on the bar, and the incorrect play on the right, making the 4 point. Now, the rationale is underneath. So if we make the correct play on the left-hand side, green may enter low, and then as white, we have 24 rolls to make the bar point if we're missed, and more opportunities with 2-1 and 3-2 to make the 5 point. And this also importantly takes away half of green's roll. So that means he cannot build on the other side of the board. He cannot use his spares to make his own 5 point or bar point, for instance. Now, if we look at the other play, making the 4 point, now we can see that green has a full roll, both dice, to either make the bar point, to make the 11 point, to make an inner board point to strengthen the home board. So here, green can do much more things with the dice. Whereas with the correct play we made on the left, green cannot do as much over the board unless he rolls a double 6 in 36. Let's look at number 4. White has a 4-1 to play. Now, how would you choose to play this? So the correct move here is to play 13-9, 13-12, and anything else there is a blunder, which you can see on the left. And tip 4 is you must play to win. So every move you make should move you closer to the win. Do not play passive. Now, making this play, we have 2% more winning chances. But also, we put huge pressure on green to roll a 6. And if green doesn't roll a 6, then of course we can cover that blot to have a 6 prime, and we've pretty much won the game. Now, it's important not to play passive. If we were to play 13-8 here, then of course green can escape with a 6 and could also hit us with a 6-4. And then green has pretty much won because we're still stuck back on the anchor. So here it's important to take small risks and hope green doesn't hit us with any of 11 6s, and then we can close a prime and happy days. Here let's look at the comparison. So the bold play on the left puts huge pressure on green to roll a 6. Otherwise, white has 14 rolls to make the 6 prime, and the game is pretty much over. The safe play on the right lets green escape with 11 rolls and hit with a 6-4, and he has less winning chances. So take calculated risks and play to win. Do not play to lose. And the final position, position 5. Now here, white is on roll. It's a money game. Now, if you are deciding whether to cube or not, you want to ask yourself, well, does the opponent have a take or a pass? And if you're not sure on their answer, then the chances are the opponent won't know also, and so you should double. Now, this is what's called Woolsey's law. When the take or pass is uncertain, then double. So when in doubt, double. Here you can see it is a take, but maybe your opponent wouldn't know that and would pass and give a point away. So one common mistake intermediate players make is they are not aggressive enough with the cube. They wait too long, they lose their market, and then the game turns in their opponent's favour. So here, if you're not sure, is it a take? Is it a pass? Double. Just double. Maybe your opponent will take it and you win a gammon. Maybe they'll pass it and you win a point. It works in your favour both ways. When in doubt, double. So there we are. So the 5 tips that I hope you found useful are: 1. Do the most difficult thing first. Number 2, play the easy number first and then worry about the hard number afterwards. Number 3, always consider the second best move. Don't just do what is obvious. Always consider alternative plays. Number 4, play to win. Make sure every move is moving you towards a win. And number 5, when in doubt, double. Now, there we are. I hope you found that useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. New videos every Wednesday. I wish you all the best with your backgammon game. Happy rolling. See you next time. Goodbye.